But we still have more issues on the use of drugs, and this time it's
the Pethidine.
The issue of Pethidine and the misuse of Pethidine. And this powerful painkiller is actually meant to be controlled, especially for medical use. But it seems like it's increasingly being misused, and it's raising red flags.
And it's what we are learning is it's being abused by health workers.
Yes, so it's being abused by health workers. And yeah, we actually have a report by Manuel Ayama, and let's check it out, and when we come back we will speak on it.
In the fast-paced environment of operating rooms, intensive care units, hospital wards and emergency departments, they work with grace and resolve, committed to preserving life. But beneath this noble duty lies a troubling and often hidden epidemic: substance misuse among healthcare workers.
So with the nurse, I believe with the work that they do, they get exposed to the effects of these medicines, because one of the side effects is euphoria. It gives you this good feeling, or feeling like you are on top of the world. And so I believe that euphoria is what pushes them to want to try that medication.
The substance at the center of this crisis is Pethidine, an opioid painkiller sometimes abused by medical professionals for its intoxicating effects. Dr. Angela Hatchful, a doctor of pharmacy, has seen the issue unfold firsthand. Over the years, she has observed troubling patterns while overseeing medication distribution and usage.
They find ways and means of coming to the pharmacy to come and collect it. But it was after a couple of tries and tracking that we got to know that no, they are taking the medicines not for patients but for their own use. And once we could actually tell that the gentleman had just injected himself, you could see some blood on his trouser, and then he was behaving abnormally while still at the ward. With the other one too, you could tell that at some points he could not find the quantity of Pethidine that he had in stock was reduced without any tangible explanation to it. So with investigations and a little monitoring here and there, we got to know that he was the reason behind the stockouts of Pethidine.
What's led us here? Is Pethidine too accessible?
Once you use it several times, you become addicted. And when it becomes part of you, it will get to a time, once the drug is given to you, it's not going to serve its purpose again. And so you have to need a higher dose. Some can write the prescription and then they go for it, go and buy it themselves. But in the facility, no, they can't have access to it because it's under lock and key.
Charles Kwache Osei, a certified addiction counselor at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, supports many addicted health workers weekly. He describes the growing problem as deeply concerning.
It's alarming. Are you getting the point? It's something that is alarming, but it's just that we don't talk about it. When you come to the hospitals, I mean, this is the issue and what happens is that it destroys their finances, their money, their reputation. Some of them have to stop work.
Osei also confirms that the issue extends beyond the Greater Accra region, affecting professionals nationwide.
No, medical is in all the
So you get other people from other
facilities? Yeah, we have clients who come from maybe Konfanochi, maybe, I mean, like, where again? From other hospitals, like 37, like Rage, who come to access treatment here. Yeah.
In Accra.
Yeah, in Accra. Yeah. So it's everywhere. In all the hospitals, not only one hospital. The addiction to opioids or Pethidine is in all the hospitals that you find in Ghana.
The Ghana Medical Association acknowledges the escalating trend and says steps are already underway to address the problem.
There have been quite a lot of cases that our colleagues in the facilities, be it as managers or as frontline workers, seeing other staff and other colleagues, have reported to us regarding people abusing various medications. Pethidine, the opioids in general, Pethidine, morphine, and other medications that are commonly abused. And some also are into alcohol and other non-medications, as you want to have it. And this is a serious cause for worry.
GMA General Secretary Dr. Richard Salome reviewed plans for a comprehensive study to quantify the scope of the issue and develop targeted interventions.
The mental health support team of the GMA is also conducting a series of research to quantify the problem and begin to look at the details of the problem. What are some of the specific causes? And then what are some of the issues that are driving people into this and where the challenges are, so that we can quantify the issues and then tailor the approaches.
There should be security when it comes to access to these medicines. So pharmacists should know well to keep these medicines under lock and key so that it's not easily accessible to these people who can or are standing at risk of abusing these medicines at the end of the day.
All right, so there you have it, and it's actually a bit worrying. And Philip, the truth is, I actually understand the feeling sometimes, because when I gave birth, it was via cesarean, and the pain was so much they always had to inject something into the drips. Yeah, but I don't know if it.
So you needed something to calm you down.
Oh my God! And whenever that thing enters, I'm like, oh, I'm gone.
You are cool.
I'm gone.
Wow.
Yeah, so at some point, I started asking for it. Please, 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 the pain is back. Please put it back. Please put it back. Please, because I just wanted to be knocked off.
Well, health workers are humans.
Yeah.
And like the doctors made mention of, they come in there to purchase it, maybe for a patient, but not knowing they are using it themselves.
Yeah.
There may be issues that are going in there. And all that, but
yeah.
Let's speak to the resource person.
Yeah, so we have Dr. Annie Gaze, who's an addictive behavior specialist, and we are going to be talking about this. Hi, Doc.
Good morning. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Philip. How are you both?
We are fine, thank you. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm really enjoying the show.
All right.
Really.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is Pethidine, and what is it medically used for?
Okay. First of all, forgive me, but I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all mothers, especially we forget the mothers who actually have lost their babies. So like that can be very difficult. So my love goes out to them.
Thank you.
Everywhere in Ghana and around the world. Right. Okay. So when we talk about Pethidine, what it is, I think some of the doctors and specialists have said already, it's an opioid, and it's actually a sedative, a depressant. So what it does is that when taken, it's a pain relief. So once upon a time, many years ago, it was widely used in Australia for pain. But gradually they realized that the addictive component is so strong that all you have to do is prescribe it to a patient. They take it the first time, second time, and they get addicted to it because it does something to the brain. The chemicals, the happy chemicals in the brain, it excites it and it makes you feel very relaxed, very like this. Some people say that it gives that floating effect. It feels like all your pains, your stress, everything is gone away. When the more you take it, the more you get addictive to it and you want more. We call something developing tolerance level. So maybe you were given one dose before, you end up wanting 15, then 20, because you won't get the same effect as you keep taking it. It's a bit like what they talked about, the alcohol and other drugs or substances.
Right.
Just you take one glass or one dose, then the next you want 15, then you want 20, then it's got lots of side effects.
Right.
So they decided across the world, lots of places don't use it that much. So we have to look at, is it really worth using that or looking at other stuff? But I'm sure you'll go into that. So it's for pain relief. And I like what Chris said about, well, again, it was used a lot in the maternity units, like labor wards for labor pain. But again, they are looking at what about morphine? What about other things that would also help instead of that?
Right.
To the extent that I don't know whether you've heard about, I love hypnotherapy because I'm a hypnotherapist. So use alternative therapies as well to help pain instead of just looking at just dishing out Pethidine or other strong medications as if, you know, they are smarties, they are sweets that we give them out because they are very, very addictive. It's a bit like, you know, the street drug heroin, that effect that people streets. That is it. But because this is prescribed, sometimes the stigma is not as bad as somebody going on the street and taking heroin. So that is what is going on.
Right. So what makes it dangerous when it's not used properly?
What makes it dangerous is because nobody is monitoring the dosage that you're taking. So there's the likelihood of an overdose. The other thing is, are you taking it for the purpose that you have to take it for? We know that it's a pain relief, a strong pain relief. But then because people get addicted to it, it's no longer for the purpose that is meant for. So they take it just to cope. I know about these healthcare professionals. A few years ago, I was in Ghana. I worked in a hospital, and loads of doctors came to there, were admitted, and we were sort of treating them for that because we had to give them substitute for that, just to wean them off, detox them off, and provide rehab and nurses as well. And so, sorry, please, can you repeat what you just said? I think I've taken myself off course.
No, I said, what actually makes it dangerous when it's not used properly?
Exactly. And so, like I said, you can easily overdose. Also, if you have lung problems, or you have liver problems, or any other healthcare conditions, and you take them, they are very strong. So that can lead to, and also sometimes it makes people feel suicidal. The drowsiness. If you're a healthcare professional and you're taking this, how are you going to monitor or provide proper care for the people under your care?
Right.
Or even if you're not a healthcare professional, if you're somebody out there as well, working wherever, imagine if the person drives to work. You're not the only one at risk. You're driving the car, there are other people on the road. So that can also, because it slows down your reaction time and everything. It makes you feel slow, makes you feel drowsy, makes you want to go to sleep. You feel like you're on a different planet. So your perception of things is not the same as somebody who's not on. So within a hospital environment, are you giving the right dose, or are you even monitoring what is going on around you? What if somebody is in crisis? Are you alert enough to be able to provide the necessary medical attention that they need?
Right.
So these are some of lots of, and it causes breathing problems. Let's say you've already got high blood pressure or diabetes or whatever, and taking this on top of that. So the health components of it, as well as other underlying factors, as well as it's expensive. So it's costing the health service a lot. And if the individual is buying it off the streets as well, that means that that's what their salary is going into, just like any other addiction.
Wow.
It affects family, it affects children. So it's got really, I'll say, it's very dangerous.
Right.
If somebody's addicted to it.
Right.
So how can you check the addictiveness, or an individual who is addicted to this particular drug? How can it be kept? How can it be checked? How can we get one person to move away from this addictive drug?
Yeah, I like what one of the doctors said she used the word, and she said, I actually wrote it down. It says we track. It's about tracking. It's about, okay, how many patients, because you have a rough idea, we have our data. So how many patients do we actually prescribe Pethidine to in a week, in a month? If it's 40 that you need, you just bring 40 into the hospital, into the pharmacy. What are the administrators doing about it? So when they come, lock and key. And also, I think where other parts of the world where I have worked is one person, because of the addictive components and because it's a controlled drug, one person can't just go and take it and administer it. At least two people, it needs to be signed. So if we are expecting, let's say 40 milligrams or whatever, 40 injections to be in there, we need to know that they all went out, or 10 went out, is left with 30 for the following month. So March, we'd have to administer 40, but we didn't. We did only 10. So the 30 will go to next month plus 10. So it needs to be monitored carefully. Also, some of the things that I think we are not doing in our country now in Ghana is to look at, drug testing in our hospitals. Because around the world it's done. I've worked in many places where random drug tests. So we come to work, and some of our staff, we randomly, as soon as you get to the gate, we take you to a room and we drug test. And that put the fear in people that they could lose their jobs. Because I've seen some doctors in Ghana who've lost their license, who've been struck off because of that, and other countries as well. So I think that, measures like that, I won't call it drastic measures, because we are saving lives by doing some of these things, that we do drug tests. And also more education. Sometimes we are in a position where I am in Ghana, I'm a Ghanaian and everything, but power is something that we are afraid of. Lots of people, let's say if we can see clearly that, let's say, I'm just saying, a pharmacist or a medical doctor or somebody in position is doing something, we can see clearly that this is wrong. But we are scared. We are afraid to say this is wrong or to even go and report because we're scared of, people are scared of losing their job. I'm a junior staff. How dare me? He's a doctor, they know what they're doing. But it's about calling things out and saying this is wrong and it shouldn't go on. So they go into the cupboard and they can see that yesterday it was 10, now it's 5. What is going on here? So these are some of the things. But what we don't realize is that by keeping quiet, we are not saving ourselves, we are not saving the patients, and we are not also saving the person who is addicted to it. Because once addiction sets in, it's very difficult for the person going through it to do anything about it, because all they are thinking about is their next fix. How do I get this? How do I get it? How do I get it? So they don't care. Dignity is at stake. Everything is at stake. As long as they get their fix, that is what will keep them going. So it's the people around them. And in this case, if it's in our health service, then it's not even their family anymore. I remember a doctor that was brought to my service some time ago, a few years ago. It was actually the doctor's best friend who said, enough is enough. And they were working in the same hospital, says, we can't have this going on. My friend will die. And apart from that, the patients, I see these things happening and I can't take it anymore, and reported it. So this report was to save the friend and also to save the hospital and to save the patients. And then we talked about how about reducing how much or how many comes into the hospital. And it did help. And then this person was saved in order for the person to go back to work. So if you feel that you're around, an environment where it's not good for you, or your level of addiction, or you have an addictive behavior, maybe you just have to also look at, am I in the right field, or maybe I need to start doing a back office job more than, or I don't prescribe at all. Right. So I'm surprised when I heard someone say that, oh, they prescribe it for themselves and they go and pick it up. Who is allowing that to happen? Nobody should have access to just prescribe just like that. It should be monitored that how many are coming into the hospital and how many are going out. And also Pethidine is, as we can see, is very toxic. So it shouldn't be something that should be, there's so many other alternatives. So that's what we have to look at. And then we have ways, I don't know whether if I show you, we have, if somebody is addicted to it or overdose on it, we've called something the naloxone program. Maybe another time I'll talk about it properly. But this is where is a nasal thing you give to the person if they are, so I give to my clients in Ghana now. You come to me and you're going through that, it's in their pocket. So if there's an overdose or they're going through a crisis, anybody near them can just get it sprayed into their nose. We have the injection one as well. Then you just inject it. So that can be free also in the country. In the UK, that's what we were using. So I got some, you can get the supply and then the government can get the supply. So there are things that we can do. And like I always say, for me, I'm just saying it now, ChannelOne is my favorite TV station and city, so I'll say I'm planning that. I like the way you're championing drug abuse. I'm going to partner with you, and I think that's an education that we need to go out and do it more about.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Annie. It was really nice talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. That was Dr. Annie Gazy, who's an addictive behavior specialist, and I really think, she went deep into, the problems and the solutions. And I think if anyone out there, especially if you're a health practitioner and you're watching us right now and you feel like you have a problem with Pethidine addiction, or you think you're getting addicted, I think you should reach out. You should reach out to get help.
And maybe the reason why it's going to be prevalent among health workers because they are able to have easy access to the drug. But
my problem is what even led you to say, let me taste it?
Oh, of course, because if you are selling food, you don't want to taste the food.
Because when morphine was used on me, I don't think all the nurses know how morphine felt.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
but maybe they have seen someone experience before. Or maybe the person has shared his or her experience with the health workers. For that reason, maybe they also want to come in. But like it's been stated, if you think you are in an environment that is not safe for you, you'd want to move out of that environment. Why not move out immediately so that the addiction you could free or get free from it?
But it's actually very problematic because these are people that are supposed to take care of us.
But they're humans.
Hey, our life is in the hands of God
but
only
humans.
At this point.
you can't really force them. They are humans. They also have some sort of shortcomings and all that.